Well, hey, it's Belgrade Beat on the streets once again. My name is Eric, and I'm here making a video for the first time this year, and I only made one last year, so... In case you don't know, my name is Eric, and I've lived a lot in Serbia, made this channel, and now I mostly live in Thailand. YouTube hasn't really been a huge part of my life lately. There's another channel called Rising Nomad, which I also post on sometimes, but I'm mostly focused on music, property development, and my IT business support adventure, which is, hang on a second, I got a little thing here, support adventure, yeah, where I help people find IT support jobs they can work online. So I've been in Serbia for like more than 2 months this year, and I have to say, I'm much more enjoying being at my house in Šumadija, in the municipality of Aranđelovac, than I do in Belgrade these days. I think it's because I changed a little bit. I'm closer to nature now because where I live in Thailand is also very naturey, and the city doesn't do it so much for me anymore. So I'm getting rid of my apartment in Belgrade at the end of this month, going back to Thailand next month, enjoying the rest of the time in Šumadija, and yeah. Oh, another news item for me is I've applied for Slovak citizenship. So I'm going to Bratislava on Thursday because they've granted me residence there, and then they're going to issue a passport, presumably, because my grandparents are from there. Ethnic Germans who left after World War II, and they have a citizenship by descent program that allows people like me to claim Slovak citizenship, despite the fact that my family was German or Austrian. So that's good. Belgrade this year. I don't really want to talk about the political situation in the country because in the past I've noticed that on this channel it's hard to say anything because I'm very nuanced in these things, and it's hard to say anything without getting a lot of reactions. I'm very nuanced and essentially neutral in the way I approach these sorts of situations, and I don't feel that in YouTube it's a great place to explore these nuances. So I'm not going to talk about that, but I am going to talk about the fact that the vibe in Belgrade has changed. You know, we've got like 3 years of the war in Ukraine and the Russians moving here, all that sort of stuff going on now. And it has changed the face of the city, that whole thing. Also, stuff that was going on for a long time, like the development on the waterfront, and now they're building a new thing over here where I'm parking my car, called Marina Dorchel. And it's just like, who's gonna live in all these things? What, you know? Unless you have an IT job like I do, it's hard to make ends meet in this society. Things are a lot more expensive now, a lot more pricey than they used to be in Belgrade. I mean, I just paid more than 2,000 dinars for like brunch, for example, at a new place, which is lovely. So, I don't know. I sense a frustration in the city. I sense a sort of like dampening of the Belgrade vibe that I always really loved. You know, it used to be a cheap and cool city, and now it's not so cheap, and it feels a lot less cool. But as I said, you know, like, I changed a lot too. You know, I'm happy to sit among the trees in Šumadija and just drive to Lazarevac, like, to go to the gym and shop at the supermarket once a day. Yeah, that's me, because my life in Thailand is really full on. I run a music venue there now. I've got villas and all this sort of stuff. And it's just full on. So when I come here now, Serbia is my, Šumadija specifically, is my chill out and relax place. But I have had some good moments in Belgrade this year, but honestly, it feels like this place is too much about money now. It's too much about like people trying to achieve their version of the American dream or whatever. You know, a long time ago in like 2011, I decided that long term I wanted to live in Serbia rather than Canada because I was living between the two countries, like 6 months in each for 3 years between 2008 and 2011. And my reasoning for that was because I was making all these like Balkan parties with Balkan music and the cool stuff, not turbo folk, in Toronto. And I got all the Serbian diaspora people engaged there and all that sort of stuff. And we had a scene which still exists today, actually, led by Lemon Bucket Orchestra, who were my former bandmates, and they started that thing when I was on tour with them in 2010. So I started this scene in Toronto while I was living half in Serbia, half in Canada, and I realized that Serbia was going to become a lot more like Canada in terms of the westernization and conveniences and stuff like that. And I could never make Canada be more like Serbia. You know, I like the direction that Toronto, my home city, is going in. I liked it. Still like the direction it's going in, more multiculturalism. But it still is a place where people go to try to live that middle class American dream. You know, Canada has an even better version of the American dream than the USA has. And so, yeah. Serbia I saw becoming more like that, and I could never make Toronto more like Serbia in a way that was satisfying to me like just being in Belgrade was. So now here we are. It's like 15 years later. After I made that decision, I lived in Serbia for most of that time. Still gonna plan on being here for about 2-3 months a year. And it looks a lot more like Canada. People got a lot less, I don't know how to put it. There's just a different focus on life here. People are all about money, people are and people who don't have it are really suffering. But this is the same thing in Canada now with this economic crisis, which is kind of global, especially in North America. Stuff got way too expensive and wages did not raise enough to account for that. And but yeah, it's really hard for people everywhere because the middle class just has so much less purchasing power than it did even in the previous decades, you know, and much, much less than it did in the 1950s, 60s, 70s. So here we are. Serbia is building. The city has less soul. I still love the place. It's still amazing to be able to swoop into Serbia anytime and kind of like be at home, my adopted home of Belgrade. But at the end of this month I will no longer have a apartment in Belgrade. We'll see, maybe I'll get one in the future, but right now for me Serbia is all about Shumarija and my property there where I go and relax from all the craziness in the world. Now, I used to think that Serbia was a crazy country, but the stuff that I see in Thailand, man, that makes this place look kind of normal, civilized, stable, because Thailand is one more level of crazy. So, yeah. Just know that it's not as crazy as you think. If you're Serbian and you're looking at the issues in this country, know that these issues, because you're always comparing yourself to Western Europe and North America, but the rest of the world is even crazier with the same types of issues that you deal with here in society. One more thing. If you want some historical reference about the issues that you are encountering these days, read the book Čuti Srbi by Archibald Rice. It was a long time ago he wrote it. over 100 years ago, and still we are having the same types of issues with that Serbian Balkan mentality today. It's easy to point fingers wherever, at whoever, about this stuff, but I believe that hopefully as things get better in this country, that sort of mentality, everybody realizes that it's all about you and how you treat others around you. And it's all about you and how your work ethic, what you work hard to achieve in this world. And I hope that more and more people here realize that, it's not about blaming others. It's about taking responsibility for making the life for yourself and people around you better. And if I was like in my 20s now, if I was Serbian growing up here, I would definitely be making some sort of business, because there's lots of opportunity here now. Despite the problems, despite whatever hardship that people have economically and stuff like that, there is lots of opportunity if you just get out of that mentality of I have to get a job, and then, or this job doesn't pay enough. So just start a business. If any people are resonating with this and they want entrepreneurial coaching, I do offer that. Get in touch with me. You can write to Eric at eric.rs, ERIK at erik.rs, my Serbian email address, and we can talk about it. But yeah, guys, never mind what's going on in society. Work online as an IT person, you'll do really well. Stay good to those around you, work hard, be reliable, and maybe you can move into Marina Dorchal. Anyways, I'm about to jump into this Volkswagen Golf rental car and drive to Shumodia. I'll catch you guys later. If you want me to make more videos, please post some questions in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Maybe from Shumodia, maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Then on Thursday or Friday, no, it's Friday, I'm heading to Slovakia, where I've now been granted residence and soon will probably be a citizen. And I'm looking forward to explaining this in German to the Austrian border patrol at Vienna airport, which is 1 hour away from Bratislava, reconnecting with my roots. And yeah, hope you guys are doing well, and let me know your perception of where Serbia is today, economically and socially. And do you also think that Belgrade has lost its soul a little bit, or a lot, or what is it? Because a lot of people I know don't want to live here anymore, and it's because of the reasons I mentioned. What's your perception? Let me know, and I'll catch you later.